Antibiotics don't work against viruses. I'm going to explain why antibiotics don't work and then share a weapon that has been scientifically proven to work against viruses. And I'll show you how you can make it in your own home in less than 5 minutes. Antibiotics only work against bacteria. Viruses and bacteria are very different. One of the most important differences is in the way they reproduce. A bacteria is a single-celled organism, but it's simpler than the cells in our bodies. For example, it doesn't have a nucleus. However, it has enough parts to reproduce and make more bacteria. If we have a bacterial infection, then we often take antibiotics to kill the bacteria and to stop that reproduction process so it can't make any more bacteria. A virus is different because it can't reproduce and make more viruses by itself. It's kind of like an envelope carrying instructions, but it can't do anything else on its own. It needs to connect to a host cell and trick that cell into making more viruses. The outside of the virus envelope has receptors, and when that receptor binds to a host cell receptor, it's like giving the correct password, and the cell thinks that the instructions from the virus are approved by the body, so it follows the instructions to make more viruses. In many cases, it continues making them until the cell is so full that it bursts. That kills the cell and releases more of the viruses into the body, and then they play the same trick on other unsuspecting cells. This causes a problem when we're trying to kill a virus, because we want to kill and stop that reproduction process without harming our own cells. But there are a couple points where you can inhibit a virus. One is to damage the protein envelope of the virus. If it doesn't have its envelope shell thing, it can't pass on the message to make more. Or if we can interfere with the receptor binding process, then the virus can't give the correct password, so to speak, to the cells, and it can't pass its RNA instructions into the cell to make more. If a substance can do one or more of those things that inhibits the virus reproduction, then it is called an antiviral. There is a substance that has been shown in multiple scientific journals to be effective against virus. It's approved by the EPA, and it's possible to make in your own home in less than 5 minutes. Its chemical name is chlorine dioxide. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, there was a study conducted by Ogata and Shibata in 2008, where they infected 2 groups of mice with a pulmonary influenza virus. One group was a control group, and the other group was given a low concentration of chlorine dioxide. After 16 days, 70% of the control group were dead. But there were no deaths in the group that received that low dosage of chlorine dioxide. Their study showed that the low dosage of chlorine dioxide damaged the protective protein envelope of the virus without damaging the host. Their conclusion was that this could be a safe and effective method against virus infections in humans. Another study done in 2012 showed that a low concentration of chlorine dioxide gas inhibited the influenza virus by interfering with the receptor binding ability of the virus. Another study done in 2016 explored the inactivation of airborne bacteria and viruses using extremely low concentrations of chlorine dioxide gas. Their results strongly supported the potential use of chlorine dioxide gas at a non-toxic level to reduce infections caused by the inhalation of pathogenic microbes in nursing homes and medical facilities. Another article published in 2016 by the Universal Medical Imaging Group praises chlorine dioxide as a non-toxic antimicrobial agent for viruses, bacteria, and candida yeast. According to the CDC, chlorine dioxide gas is primarily used in public water treatment facilities to make water safe for drinking, but it has also been used to decontaminate public buildings. When it reacts in water, chlorine dioxide forms chloride ions, which is also a very reactive chemical. Because chlorine dioxide is very reactive, it is able to kill bacteria, viruses, mold, fungus, and other microorganisms. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. All it is combining two separate ingredients into one and allowing it to have a chemical reaction. The two chemicals we're going to be putting together are sodium chloride. This is just a health food supplement. It's supposed to help boost your oxygen level. And the other thing we're going to be combining is citric acid. And this is, of course, the same thing that's in lemons and limes and oranges and that sort of thing. However, we're going to measure this out. I want specifically to have a 10% citric acid solution. So we're going to do that by putting 1 teaspoon of citric acid with 9 teaspoons of purified water. I have my citric acid, my water. Okay, once the solution is done, I'm just going to put it into a bottle with a dropper, and I'm going to make sure that I label it 10% citric acid. Now that I have my 10% citric acid solution made, we just have to put these two together. Now the ratio is 1 drop of sodium chloride to 5 drops of the 10% citric acid solution. And that is a really good place to start, just 1 to 5. But that ratio will continue if you wanted to do 2 to 10 or 3 to 15. Probably it would be a good idea not to take more than 15 drops to 75 drops. That still keeps it well within the safe limits according to the EPA guidelines, but it's enough to be able to have a response in your body. So for now, I'm just going to do 1 drop to 5. So 1 to 5. Now we just wait for 3 minutes for that chemical reaction to take place. You won't notice any bubbling or any change like you would if we were mixing baking soda and vinegar, but you might notice a slight change in color and odor. When the 3 minutes are up, then you just add some apple juice. And then all you have to do is drink it. And it goes to work. And then you just take that like you would an antibiotic 2 to 3 times a day for 7 to 10 days, depending on the needs and the situation. One thing that can happen is you can get a little bit of some diarrhea, maybe even some nausea if you take too much. And that's not actually a response to the chemical. It is your body trying to release the toxins. As it kills those viruses, it tries to eliminate them really quickly. There are some theories about how to eliminate that. One is to take an organic chelate with it. Chelate is the word means claw. Cilantro essential oil is an organic chelate, and if you take a few drops of this along with it, it's supposed to take those toxins, those dead virus, and to combine them together so it's a little easier for the body to get rid of so you don't have those side effects. I do this and I actually have never had any side effects, so I will show you quickly how to do that. I have a little capsule here, I have my essential oil here, and I'm just going to put in like 8 drops. Okay. And then I also have frankincense, and I'm going to put in a couple drops of that. And you just put the lid on, and then when you drink the apple juice, you just eat that with it. And that works really well. Like I say, I haven't had any side effects, I haven't had any problems with that. Because of the way that this is created by combining the citric acid and the sodium chloride, sometimes it's called acidified sodium chloride, or ACS. It can also be called DMo or DMo-therapy. DMo is just a nickname. It stands for the disinfectant molecule because it disinfects water and it disinfects our body. So chlorine dioxide, or acidified sodium chloride, ACS, DMo, DMo-therapy, whatever you want to call it, is one of the few substances that has been scientifically proven to be antiviral, which could be very beneficial if we're in a situation where we have to take care of things by ourselves. It is super easy to make, very inexpensive. It doesn't take up a lot of space if you don't need it. It's just kind of a good thing to have in your first aid kit, just in case of emergencies. As a medical disclaimer, this video is for informational and instructional use only. It is not to be considered as medical advice. If you think that you have a medical condition of any kind, please seek professional medical help. Thank you. Stay safe, stay happy.